All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're looking at this amazing 1,500-year-old idea. Basically, it's about how a single act of kindness can go viral. And, what's fascinating is that it feels like an ancient secret that's a perfect solution for some of our most modern problems.
So our story starts on a scale that's, well, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. The text opens with this line, talking about 100,000 million, myriad, unthinkably vast worlds. We're not in some quiet temple here. This is cosmic. It immediately tells you we're dealing with something absolutely epic. And imagine this. In all that vastness, beings from every single one of those worlds, they've all gathered together. So you got to ask, right? Why? I mean, what could possibly be so important that it brings everyone from every corner of existence to one spot? Well, it turns out it's a crisis.
Yeah, this massive gathering isn't for a party. It's something much, much more serious. It's about an impossible mission being accepted. This is basically a handover, a moment where someone steps up to take on a responsibility that seems, well, completely impossible.
So here's the situation. The whole reason for the gathering. The Buddha is about to depart, to enter final nirvana. And that's a huge deal, because it's going to create this cosmic power vacuum. It means a long dark age for everyone, with no guiding light until the next Buddha, Maitreya, shows up, which isn't for millions of years.
And so, into this massive gap steps one figure, Kṣitigarbha. The Buddha gives him this one final, sacred mission, to save every single soul during this huge teacherless era. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. The weight of that promise, it's just staggering.
So the big question is, how could anyone possibly pull that off? Well, Kṣitigarbha's method isn't about some grand, sweeping gesture. It's about something way more subtle, way more adaptive. It's about compassion having 1,000 faces. And this, right here, is the core secret of the whole text. This brings us to the key idea, emanation. And let's be clear, this is not sci-fi cloning or anything like that. A better way to think of it is as the polymorphism of compassion. What a great phrase, right? It just means that help has to take whatever form is needed to actually reach someone who's in pain.
And that means compassion can show up in all sorts of ways. To help different people, it appears in different forms. It could be a king, a minister, just a regular guy or woman. But it goes even further than that. It could be a mountain, a forest, a stream, even a spirit. The point is, help doesn't always look like help. It's whatever is needed right then and there.
Okay, but that raises a really important question, doesn't it? If help can be literally anything, how do you know what kind of help is actually needed? How do you know what form to take? Well, the Sutra has a really interesting take on this. It says that people are just different. They have different levels of readiness to receive help. And what's wild is that this idea shows up elsewhere too. Take a look at this comparison with Confucius. The Sutra talks about the sharp and ready, which is like someone born with knowledge. Then you have those who learn with effort and those who learn with difficulty. And finally, those who are so burdened they just won't learn. Understanding where someone is on that spectrum, that's the key to giving them the right kind of help.
All right, so it's all about understanding what people need. But let's bring this down from the cosmic level and into our world. Because this whole idea of emanation isn't just some ancient philosophy. It's actually a blueprint for how kindness can go viral.
So think about a big problem we have today, fragmentation. So many people feel isolated, disconnected. This ancient text offers a solution it calls proliferation. The idea is that kindness multiplies. When you do one good thing, it doesn't just stop there. It inspires other people, creating a whole network of good deeds.
And hey, this isn't just theory. We have a perfect real-world example, the Bapeo free meal movement in South Korea. This is a fantastic case study of this whole idea in action.
So check out how this one good deed emanated. It all started with a single act. One monk, back in 1998, started a small free meal service. But then, inspiration spread. Word got out, and then the emanations appeared. Other people all across the country were inspired and just started copying the model on their own. And boom, a network forms. A whole nationwide movement was born totally spontaneously with no one in charge.
And that brings this huge cosmic idea all the way down to us, to you and me. It's your turn to join the network. This whole principle of becoming an emanation of compassion, it's something any of us can do.
But why should we? What's the motivation? Well, the text has a really surprising answer, and it has to do with this fraction right here, 1/7. This little number is a clue to one of the most powerful motivators in the entire sutra.
So let me ask you a question. When you do a good deed for someone who has passed away, say you donate to charity in their name, who do you think gets most of the credit, the merit for that? Most people would say the person who passed on, right? Seems logical.
Well, here's the surprising answer from the text. The person who passed away, they only get 1/7 of the merit. The other 6/7, that goes directly to you, the living person doing the good deed. That's a huge takeaway, right? It means that doing good for others is, by a massive margin, one of the absolute best things you can do for yourself.
So how can you become one of these emanations in your own life? Here are 3 really simple ways. First, pay it forward. Instead of just paying back a favor, do a new favor for someone else entirely. Second, inspire, don't brag. You can share the good things you do, but the goal should be to spark ideas in others, not to get praise. And finally, join a gathering. Find a local volunteer group or cause you care about. Your impact gets so much bigger when you're part of a team.
So that really brings us back to the beginning. We've learned that compassion can be a powerful king or a quiet stream. It can be a huge, life-changing event or just a small, everyday kindness, which really leaves just one final question. And this one's for you to think about. What form will your compassion take today?